Hello, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about moving to Atlanta in 2023 and specifically buying property. We want to know if it's worth it or if it's not. Now, if you have not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button now as well as the notification bell and hit a like for me and go ahead and comment as well. Now, before we even get started, I just want to let you guys know I am not a real estate agent. I did not hold a license in the state of Georgia. This is just strictly my opinion as a property owner in Atlanta. I just want to give you guys a little insight of what I went through and what I feel is maybe worth coming here and maybe worth not buying property here, right? Now, I will say, as far as investment and growth, this is the perfect place to invest into and spend your money and buy. So when I say that, just know that, of course, each year with any property you have to pay property taxes, right? So because you're in the city and you're in the city of Atlanta, I don't know what every other city is like, but just know it is going to be a tad more expensive than your average county, right? So with that being said, these are things to keep in mind when you're going to purchase a property of location, because you will pay more taxes depending on the area, right? The more populated and the more growing and rising of the city. Now, with that being said, if you can afford that penny and that price, that is really good for you, because with time, the area is going to continue, for the most part, it's going to continue to grow, continue to just build things into that area in that city because it's just growing so fast. So what does that mean for you? Your home is going to go up. When I say go up, I mean in value. And what that means for you is you're going to have more equity into your home. So when you're talking about maybe doing any type of investments or doing any type of flips or improvements in your home, and you decide to sell it all of a sudden, you have a lot of equity in your home. And now when you go to sell this to this buyer, you can go ahead and raise that price tag, because guess what? You've got this in there, you've got that in the area. Everything is so close in vicinity and they built so many new things. Plus you've done your improvements. So guess what? Your price tag can be larger. And guess what? They're more likely to pay because of all these things that's surrounding the property. So I'm just going to tap in a little bit about my property. So if you guys look at the video here, I did not buy a home. I'm not ready for a home just yet, but I'm actually thinking about leaving the city. And specifically just because I have had an experience in the building that I am in. Right now I'm in a condo building. It's very nice, but the area is kind of a little wonky. It's on the rise, so I don't know. So I am trying to be patient and see what they bring to the area, because it is a growing area and they're constantly making small improvements, and I know eventually it will be a new heavily populated area, which is going to bring more money into the area, right? So anywho, this is Atlanta I live in, and it is, let's just say, it's still growing. So I do have a if you know about the Ring community, it gives several alerts, and let's just say I get a lot throughout the day, and that's okay because I take my precautions. I don't bother anyone, but hey, as we all know, the saying at the wrong place at the wrong time, you know, that still occurs. So, and it is still Atlanta, so these are things to keep in mind. Now, if you are someone that is thinking about coming to Atlanta, or you live at home with mom and dad, and hopefully you are saving up money to go ahead and buy property, because it is a really good investment, I will say. Or let's just say you're renting and you're tired, of course, of your landlord and their shenanigans, or just the rent going up, these fees, or if you live in an apartment, the hidden fees, and just things going up, because we all know when you live in an apartment, things continue to go up unless you move from building to building, and who wants to do that, right? So I will say this is a really good investment. When I purchased my property, I will say my credit did go up a lot. So let me just tell you, if you don't already know about buying property, it did improve my credit a lot. So obviously I had a pretty decent credit score to be able to close on a piece of property. So Just for some context, my credit in March, I was at about like a 717, and then went in April to a 719, and in June, sorry, I actually closed on the property in April. So obviously we know it takes some time to go ahead and have them update all of that information. Jumped all the way up to a 769, right? It's not a ton of points, but that's a pretty good jump, right? So when it comes to credit, it does help you a lot. And I was very excited to see my credit just move up like that, right? So as far as that aspect, it is very helpful. Nonetheless, as you guys know, I am making improvements into my condo. I am having a little bit of second thoughts about Airbnb, specifically for the reason of stories, and as far as like keeping up with updates, specifically in Atlanta. Airbnbs are becoming overpopulated and oversaturated, and I do not want a idle Airbnb, right? Not when I'm putting it into the market or putting it into the pool to be rented out, right? I don't want it to be idle, and I have, you know, I'm a little scared of that, and I don't know if I'm willing to risk that, but that's just something for me to think about later when I'm actually prepared. But right now, nonetheless, I am still putting in things into this place, because let's say I do decide to sell it, I have made those type of improvements that can make my price tag go up, right? And of course, as we know, like I just talked about, property value going up. So obviously when it's time for me and when I'm ready to go ahead and leave, once the property value, which when I was closing, the property value was already going up. They rose the price tag on me as I was closing, literally. So I already know the property value is going up into this place. So as I make my little small implementations and improvements, I know that what I sell it for, it will be worth it, and the person that's buying will buy it for that price, right? So I just want to make sure that everyone understands that, yes, I do talk about a lot of people moving to Atlanta, but if you are buying property, I feel like it's a really good investment, solely for the reason that everyone wants to come to Atlanta, right? So that makes it really good for sellers, right? Because everyone wants in. So when it comes to your time, or when you get tired of it, then you can walk away with money, right? You're not walking away from an apartment with no money, right? Because when you walk away from an apartment, they're not giving, the apartment builder's not giving you money. So these are just things to think about. Once again, thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, like I said, go ahead and subscribe, and go ahead and like this video and leave a comment. Thank you guys for watching.